Hello, welcome to Chrysalis Invictus, your Thursday Oracle reading. We're going to pull 3 cards for our 3 different piles. You can choose your message from the description box below. So whenever you're ready, this one wants 2 cards. Whenever you're ready, make your selection, and I will meet you at your reading. Okay, pile number 1, you have wolf. Okay, so what I'm hearing is crimes of fierceness. There's something that you are very, very strongly called to defend today. This could be something to do with honor or integrity for your family, your community, yourself. But there is a very strong feeling of protection, of integrity. Yeah. I feel like if you are, it's definitely a day to eat a lot of protein, and to cultivate an inner strength. So if something comes up for you today that feels like a pushback, to maybe take a quieter approach to your response. So maybe standing, what I'm seeing is a wolf at the edge, kind of surveying an area, looking out over an area of a territory, I guess. So it could be something to do with territory. It could be something to do with your living situation as well. Some kind of overturning or reconfiguration of your living situation could come up for you today. The other aspect of that is, so if you're watching this when it comes out, which you absolutely don't have to, this is a full moon, okay, a full moon in Capricorn. And there's a response to the moon. This could literally be going out and howling at the moon, but I do feel like it's important to notice the call and response between you and the moon today. Okay. So I'm going to just take a look at there's 2 there. I'm going to take a look at the book and see if there are any additional messages for you. There. So I hope this finds you well. Yeah, so the meaning of wolf in the book is the self without others, a calling, the great expanse. So this could be also like with the expansion of territory is really what I'm feeling like. This could be a call to expand on what you do for a living or where you live, or like there's just some kind of change to do with expansion, territory, community. It's actually quite a lot for today. So I'm going to leave you there. Thank you so much for joining. Check out the description box below. If you would like to book a personal reading, you can email me. I've closed down my website, so you can just email me at chrysalisinvictus@gmail.com and we can set up a reading, okay? So pile number 2, welcome. Let's see what you have. You have 2 cards. Creature's Paw. Okay, so it still kind of feels like something from the past has a hold on you. Something has you in its grips, has you in its paw, I guess you could say. But there's something about this that is not as deep or vast or... it'll be easier to get out from the clutches of this than you think. So there's some sort of commitment or some sort of situation that you feel bound to that is actually not as it's not as strong and it's not as powerful as you may once have thought. And we have the card Joy Harjo, bravery. Yeah, okay, so this today is asking you to be brave and stand up for yourself. So one of the things about standing up for yourself is it doesn't necessarily mean, if you're normally quiet and you don't always stand up for yourself, it doesn't mean that when you stand up for yourself that you are automatically right, simply because you never stood up for yourself before. But it's definitely a call to, it's not about rightness, it's about being honest and true and having integrity about how you're feeling, what you're thinking. Okay, there is something that has been buried in layers of crap. And it's just time to liberate yourself from that. So I'm seeing movement, and I'm seeing releasing a ghost, releasing a demon, getting yourself up out of the clutches of something and not giving it so much power. So that's what I mean, is that, maybe what has been holding you is your perception of something. Your perception that someone has power over you, or your perception that an institution or whatever this is, this memory, that it's more powerful than it is. So that has less to do with, for instance, confronting that particular situation or that person or that, it has less to do with confronting that and more to do with confronting your own relationship to it. How have I been giving this power? And then stepping up to it. Okay, so I'm going to take a look at the book and see if there are any additional messages for you. We'll start with Creature's Paw. Okay, and so in the book, this represents the other, friendship, and forgiveness. So it could be that there's something today, and with the full moon, if you're watching this when I've, recorded it, there's the full moon in Capricorn. It could be that there is something that that you're being called to forgive and to release through forgiveness. Remembering that forgiveness doesn't mean, it doesn't excuse the other from responsibility. It's just a way of releasing yourself from the hold that this has on you. Okay, so more for yourself than others. This could also be a tricky day for friendship, I feel, because these energies are trying to work themselves out, and sometimes when we're trying to work these things out, others can be caught up in the whirlwind of releasing, or get mistaken for things, or projected onto. So just something to think about. And then with Joy Harjo, plugging in, making decisions, fear. Yeah, and so much of this is just facing fears about maybe what it means to take responsibility, or what it means to forgive yourself. One thing that I'm getting here is that, how can I hold myself accountable without making it mean that I'm a bad person, or without going that extra little bit where you collect shame or guilt, but holding yourself responsible, not stepping into victim energy, but being brave in the face of difficult truths. So Harjo, a common, I don't know how to say this word, Creek nation name, means so brave she's crazy. So brave she's crazy. That's the energy today. Joy Harjo, born in 1951, courageously survived an oppressive childhood, teenage pregnancy, and domestic abuse before becoming a spiritually charged poet of wild, natural imagery and urgent social activism, as well as an award-winning saxophone player and singer. So well accomplished. Yeah, and this is like that energy of like getting over this and forgiving and releasing and stepping into this bravery is the fuel for your activism, is the fuel for your liberation and your accomplishments and your art. Okay, so that's what I have for you, pile number 2. If you'd like to book a personal reading, you can email me with chrysalisinvictus@gmail.com and we can set something up. All right, take care. Pile number 3, your reading for Thursday. You have Angela Carter, Identity. Okay, so this is interesting. The only Angela Carter I've ever read is Nights at the Circus, and I found it really difficult to read. The main character was just so... Anyway, if you've read the book, please feel free to comment down below. But really what I'm getting here is that there is some kind of... something about your feminine energy today that is something that you potentially need to release about yourself and your feminine energy. So maybe it's a belief that you're too caring, or it's something that seems like a positive thing that you think about yourself, but it's actually come to the point where it is harming you or hurting you, or it's like self-sacrificial almost. So like, I help people to my detriment. I nurture people to my detriment. And which is like, it comes from a beautiful place. It comes from this really warm, soft place within you. But it's not serving you in the sense that it like keeps you in this subservient feminine energy almost within yourself. So this has nothing to do with like men or women or anything outside of like the internal struggle. I would say look at your inner feminine today. Look at the ways that it bows to your inner masculine. Look at the ways that maybe your conception of what it means to be feminine is that distorted. Today is a good day to take a look at that. We also have the this wolf figure here, and the full moon is I think it's the full moon today when I'm filming this. So we're at least in the energy of the full moon in Capricorn. And it looks to me like there is a connection between releasing with the full moon and releasing some kind of this could be trauma. This could be, not that you can just release trauma, but to address some form of trauma that has affected the way that you view your sexuality even. This could be distorted self-image. Yeah, there's definitely this feeling of like anxieties and things like that, but with the releasing aspect, this is reshaping your identity. This is reshaping your view of yourself and your view of the world ultimately. So it's a really big day for that energy. Let's take a look at the book and see what other messages there are for you. These cards go pretty deep, so but if you don't like deep, then you probably will not like my channel. Okay, so, and it says investigating identity, roles, and who you are. Yeah, so when it says roles, I'm just getting this thing about your role from a feminine perspective. So even if you are, however you identify, it doesn't really matter. It's how that feminine expresses itself through you. Okay. Like, so for someone who is, who identifies as a man, this could be, you know, the way that your feminine nurturing energy comes through. Like, is there an associated shame with that? Is there an associated, like, idea of weakness with that? You know, addressing things like that. Just something to think about. Okay, the feminine fairy tales of Angela Carter, which draw on stories like Little Red Riding Hood and Beauty and the Beast, are sumptuous tapestries depicting sexual, violent scenes ornamented with symbols and adjectives. She was fascinated by the performance of femininity, and her works often feature showgirls, trapeze artists, and dolls. Yeah, and like performed femininity to the point of it being almost grotesque. So, you know, what is naturally and organically feminine to you? You can access this by looking at like some of the older feminine figures that you find really beautiful and magnetic and attractive, and I guarantee you they are, you associate great things with them, and it has very little to do with performed femininity. Okay, so anyway, that's what I have for you. If you'd like to book a personal reading, you can send me an email, chrysalisinvictus@gmail.com, and I will see you later. Bye.